All right, so y'all have seen my videos. I don't need to post right now about that, so I'll tell you this. Everybody is compromised. When I say everybody, I'm talking about the State Bureau of Investigations. So Terry Johnson is Alamance County Sheriff's Department. His son is in the SBI, and then Terry Johnson is aware of a lot of this misconduct. Now, I don't have direct evidence implicating him with anything, so I can't speak on that, but it does give the appearance that he is directly or indirectly involved in misconduct. Top players of misconduct locally that I see are the prosecutor, Alamance County DA Sean Boone, and he's the one that decides to like issue charges out on, you know, stuff like the stuff that you've been seeing with me. And then there's Meredith Edwards is involved in the corruption. Ron Parrish and many of the people. If you look at the emails, you'll see, when I say emails, talking about the internal documents, you'll see the, and forgive me the rain, you'll see the people that were copied in when they were discussing how to conceal the misconduct. Senator Amy Galey, Dennis Rydell, and many others. And so, from doing the research and investigating, what I've seen is that they're not impartial. And so you see that I've been arrested multiple times in a week. You know, I was recently arrested for larceny, even though that was I didn't steal anything. And I've already made my case for that and gave the evidence. But I want to talk about Jeff Reese and Jeff Reese, Dilla Reese, Mitzi Gunn, and these people, because it's important to cover. So, as I've been saying, Jeff Reese lied for Officer William Brennan during the Superior Court. So, in District Court, Judge Rick Champion, he was the one that overheard the case. He is now I always forget when I make these videos, but when you can't afford, the court appointed attorney is the supervisor for them. And what you'll notice is that he's Facebook friends with a lot of these people. And don't think because Facebook, it means a lot, because when you're friends with each other, you have an incentive to protect them and their interests, whether it's political friends, whether it's political allies or personal relationships. It appears to be both. And this is why Alamance County corruption specifically exists here. But Jeff Reese, his son Dylan Reese, and another guy, they lied. And if you notice, I've been posting these videos about them harassing us. Like, I'm not posting them randomly. They're intentional, because I want you to see what's going on. So, they didn't witness the encounter, and they lied about how close they were. I've documented all of that. I've talked about, what's her name? Rebecca Dixon. She was then the assistant police chief. She's now at Stoneville as the actual police chief. And they're aware. But see, they're not doing anything. And what I suspect is they're going to wait to see if anything plays out. Then, because of the public perception, then they'll do something. But I've already talked about how she was on camera coercing them to lie. And not even that, and they weren't even that good of liars, because the DA, Mary Williams, who I'm suing in federal court, was coercing them to lie. Mary Williams also was present when I went to sue Jeff Reese. So I wanted to see how it would go in court, in district court, when I sued, because I figured they would try the same shenanigans. But not Jeff Reese, but Mary Williams was seen talking with Magistrate David Crabb, who dismissed the case when I sued Jeff for filing a false police report. So I still maintain that the police were not dispatched, and even if they were, it doesn't matter. It doesn't give you a probable cause to arrest somebody just off of arguing. And so he dismissed the case. After I was charged again by the State Bureau of Investigations for misuse of 911. The misuse being me calling when Jeff Reese was harassing my family. And I called the non-emergency 911 and was transferred over and explained to them what was going on. Those are used against me. And so this is the second time. So I beat that charge around February, March. I was just charged again in July. And so that's why I say they're compromised. They hang up on me. They don't want to investigate. And I have other evidence, but I can't share it right now because I'm going to wait. But they are corrupt, and we don't need a society like that. But Jeff Reese, he's not been charged for anything. And if you notice, every time the police would come out, those videos exist. I posted them, but they would always find a reason not to specifically charge him. So for those who don't know, when you have a witness that testifies for a police officer, if they're engaged in stuff like this, it looks bad. And so they're not considered credible witnesses. Jeff Reese has a history of assaulting and other nefarious activities, just so you guys know. And so, in my opinion, they were not being charged. The police were avoiding charging Jeff because weakening his credibility weakens their case. Now, Jeff Reese is the only reason why I pled to an obstruction charge. Only reason, because during the first trial, as I mentioned, they were just relying on the narrative, and then I had that shady-ass lawyer, Don Dickerson, who wouldn't gather the evidence and then defend me, even though he privately admitted that I was innocent. So when they couldn't rely on their people as judges, in my opinion, they brought in Jeff to lie. And then because I had a lawyer that was friends with him, which I didn't know, but I should have knew better, John Cox. He didn't defend them. And so, in my opinion, the harassing was to try to intimidate me to stop advocating for myself. So, in my opinion, they likely thought that they're going to get Jeff and his family to lie and that this would be over. They underestimated me. And then you see Mitzi Gunn. I posted that video where she talked about I was harassing her, even though I didn't. And evidence shows that she actually was harassing me, her and her son. And her husband actually threatened me to beat me up or something. Meredith Edwards was in the internal communications. At this point in time, she was a clerk of court. But when Mitzi Gunn took those charges out on me, was a civil action. It was a restraining order, basically, a 50C. Lied and claimed she lived at the residence that really was her grandparents, and she didn't live there. So she lied about her residence to get the 50 to begin with. Meredith Edwards refused to hear my evidence. And again, she's in the internal communications. I filed complaints against all of these people, the judges involved, but it was relegated to a legal mistake. And this is the thing, I forgot that I don't remember the specific terminology, but that's how they avoid punishing judges. You file a complaint with the judicial committee, and they'll give an excuse instead of actively investigating. And so they only really investigate when they have no choice, when their careers are in jeopardy. And so I've been making these videos with the hope that these videos will be shared to the proper people, because right now the SBI and all of our oversight are compromised. I can't say the FBI because I don't know, but I can say that what you're seeing, the charges and stuff, is me being retaliated against. And there's going to be somebody to say, well, your tags are bad. Yes, I'm taking care of them this week, actually. And again, I've already addressed that. So many of these people are involved. And so I think now when I think about it, I think the University of Elon police were actually conspiring to charge me with something after speaking with my contacts. And so I don't think they're all corrupt. I think that they're just doing what they're told, and they may not know. But I do think that these agencies are having discussions with them. So I wanted to just give this update, or I don't know what I'd call it, but I'll add more later.